Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast, episode number 60. That's right, the big 60. Tonight our special guest is Genaro Davila. He is the owner and operator of Dead Solid Perfect Golf, located here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, he's made his way a little bit around the state of Texas, by way of Mexico, from Saltillo, also at Edinburgh. Now, Genaro's running a great golf facility. And now, a lot of people always say it's the old Joe Caruso place, but it's located off of Blanco Road. Now, he's going to talk to us tonight about several of the services that he offers there, some of his club making process, some of his greatest relationships that he's made in the game of golf, and also the big clinic he has coming up on October 5th. So I'd like to welcome Genaro Davila to the show.
Hey, Andy, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for having me.
I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm super psyched to have you. And I'm glad you got to show me around your facilities there because I can see that you're in your little bay. You're in your little workshop.
Exactly. It's we're just about ready to close here within 20, 30 minutes. So I think it was a pretty good location for this.
Yeah, it is, man. That's like your secret little workshop, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like my second home.
Well, why don't we get right into it? Why don't you tell everybody and the viewers and the listeners out there, how did you make your way to San Antonio? And how did you really, or before that, how did you get into this crazy game of golf?
Well, I'm originally from Saltillo, Mexico, really close to Monterrey, about 45 minutes going west. It's a fairly big town. Back then, there were two golf courses. One of them, Saltillo Country Club, kind of like your normal golf course, with 18 holes and pretty normal setup. But there was also another golf course, a 9-hole golf course with the greens didn't actually have grass. They had a kind of like sand or aggregate. So the greens you would hit into a kind of like an aggregate pit, and once you hit on the green, you would there was a device that you would use to flatten the surface so that you could putt. And I actually learned to play golf in that place. My dad took me there since I was like 4 or 5, and that's where I started playing golf. That golf course is still open now, obviously with grass on the greens and that, but it was an interesting place. I wish I had some pictures so that you could have an idea what it was. But basically, I learned to play the golf there when I was 5. I really liked the game, and I always had a passion for it. So I actually played a lot of junior golf there. When I started playing a little better, my father decided to actually join the Saltillo Country Club so that I could practice on grass, not on dirt and rocks, right? So I started playing at the country club when I was 11, 12. Back then, the junior tour in Mexico was actually pretty good. It was starting to take off with some good quality competition. And nowadays, it's a great place for the kids to go out there and compete, kind of like AJGA here, obviously at a different level, but every tournament now has probably like 200-300 kids playing in different flights. So I really enjoyed that, and somehow my game started improving to a point that when I was in high school, I told my dad that I really wanted to come to the States and play college golf. So somehow I was able to connect with a coach. Had different interviews with other coaches. I remember at that time I was able to meet Texas A&M coach Bob Ellis, and I actually did a couple of rounds for him, but I wasn't good enough for A&M. He was back then. It was hard. There were not too many Mexican kids coming to the States playing college golf. So Coach Tony Guerrero from Mission, he was the head coach for Pan. He he liked what he saw and offered me a scholarship. So I left Mexico when I was 19 to come play golf for UT Pan Am. Actually the year that I was a freshman at Pan Am, that was the first year that he changed the name to UT Pan American. Before that, it was Pan American University. Nowadays, it's UT RGV,
RGV,
right?
yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah, back then we were the Bronx. Now they are the Vaqueros, I think. So
I,
it has gone through a transformation, but I was able to join in when the UT system absorbed that school. So it was a Division I school, and so it was a great experience for me. So basically, that's how I ended up here in the States. Never went back to Mexico, and that was pretty much it. I like a good uh, golfer playing in college. It took me 5 years to graduate because I played a lot of golf.
there's nothing wrong with that. All right. It took me 7 years to get a 4-year degree. Okay. I had a great time.
Exactly. So, but it was a experience that it was just unbelievable because like I mentioned, there were not too many kids from Mexico coming to the States and taking, I guess, an advantage, obviously, of how sports are promoted here at the college level, right? Now, I was talking with somebody from Mexico the other day that it's knows a lot about the numbers and about kids that are coming to school here from Mexico, and I think we lost count like at 50 or 60 or something like that. So there's a golf now. It's a big it's a good place in Mexico to to practice it, and there's a lot of motivation. Obviously, the top Mexican players playing on professional tours are a great motivation. Everything started with Lorena, obviously, and it's growing. It's fun to watch.
I think she's been a great ambassador, especially for the Mexican people. And me being of Mexican American descent, it's amazing. I loved her game, and I hate that it seems like she had like such a I say like a small run because I think obviously family, wanting to start a family and wanting to to come into her own, as she got a little bit older, a little bit more mature.
Yes,
I wonder, if she kind of put her family life on hold to see, would we kind of be talking about her as, up there with Sari Pak and, Nancy Lopez? Would we be, saying, would she be, kind of in the same breath? And I think, I think maybe one day, she might be one of those female golfers as she gets up in age to be one of those inaugural hitters of of the drive, like they did for Augusta, they did for the, for the women's amateur tournament.
right. Yeah, yeah. Lorena's history and how she started again in the Mexican Junior Tour. That's over at the Guadalajara Country Club, and obviously from day one, I believe she was just a great player, and then coming again to the States to play for a U.S. School and then getting all her experience. It's part of it, and then if you want to make a career out of golf for kids from different countries, you have to do it here because here's where the opportunities are and the competition and like again Carlos Ortiz, he went to North Texas State. Abraham went to Odessa and OU and some of the best pros right now playing in PGA Latin America or Mexican Tour. They have experience playing college golf here in the States, so I think it's almost like a must. Uh, uh, to be able to have some an opportunity to play on the major tours here in the States, right, or anywhere else in the world.
Well, who is it for you that kind of paved the way for you to be to be in this golf game? And like, who did you look up to? Was it like a Chichi Rodriguez or a Lee Trevino? Who was it that really kind of sparked your interest, especially from being from Mexico?
Well, that's to be honest. Back then, golf tournaments on TV there were very very rare. I mean, golf was just not a sport Now it's better because of the golfers that we have, right? But back then, Mexico, it's soccer games or, a lot of the NFL, it's very popular, but golf, nobody really watched golf. So there was not a lot of exposure to golf tournaments on TV. Back then, sometimes they showed majors like the U.S. Open or the Masters. And to be honest, I always looked up for Jack Nicklaus. To me, it's the best golfer ever. I get in a lot of discussions because obviously Tiger Woods, I mean, he's a very close. I can have some debate on that. With Tiger, it's just something great. But I was looking up for Jack because that's all we that we had access to. Watching just 2 or 3 tournaments per year on TV. So not a lot of access to that. So I remember I didn't even speak English back then, but I remember my dad bought Golf My Way when I was like 12 or 13, and I remember I would put the book down with all the swing sequence, and I would try to imitate, Jack's swing and that. So that's like how I got to learn it. My dad helped obviously, but it was limited. But I was just trying to match pictures on the floor from Jack. So
Well, you always hear something about great golfers that they had something similar like that as they were growing up, something that always to look after or somebody to kind of mold their game after. And Jack's not too bad.
yeah, exactly.
Well, well, as we get into discussing, the business that you have, when did Dead Solid Perfect Golf kind of take shape? And I know we spoke about this kind of off the air, but is it named after the movie?
Yeah, definitely. The name came. I was looking for an original name, right? And I said, well, that's solid perfect. Kind of means like you hit it, the word you're supposed to. It's kind of like a phrase that it's recognized, right? But I was thinking on the movie because I remember watching the movie a couple of times, and we were talking that I've been trying to find a place where I can actually see it again because it was fun, and it was
It had Dennis.
I
It
like
had Dennis
Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid.
No, Randy. Was it Randy or Dennis?
Randy,
Randy.
Quaid, one of the
Yeah,
Quaid,
one of the Quaid brothers.
right?
Yeah.
So, but it does have a lot to do with the movie, definitely. And
Now,
like I mentioned, there's another company up north that it's also called Dead Solid Perfect Golf.
well,
So
I like it. It's original. It's not something that So if people say, "Oh, the range, dead solid, perfect," okay, okay, they know exactly where they're talking about, especially here in San Antonio.
good, good.
Now, what are some of the services that y'all provide there at your facility?
Well, obviously we have the driving range, right? That's that. This place has been a driving range since I can remember. I've been living in San Antonio for 27 years, and this place was a driving range. So that's it will never change. But well, obviously, we do have a club fitting studio that I have. That's where I'm more involved, doing fittings and also building clubs. Full repair shop. Anything that you need, anything that the golfer needs to change, to fix, to even do some paint work and things like that, we can do it here. And also the academy. The academy, it's something that I'm working really hard to make it a really great place to learn. Uh, I have 3 very very good instructors with a lot of experience, and well, one of them, Tom Covino, he at one point he was the owner of the range when he was, I think, Panther Springs. He was the name of the range. So he has a lot of obviously history in this facility. The other instructor that I have is Danny Winget. Danny, it's also a great instructor. He has a lot of experience. Uh, he was one of Mike Bender's instructor over at his academy. Mike Bender, probably one of the best instructors in the states, and he brings a lot of experience and also many ways on how to work with technology. Very nice, very good drills, very easy way to teach the golfer to understand what is going bad and how to get it better. And the third pro that we have is Wayne Mitchell. Wayne, he was the instructor at TPC San Antonio, and then he retired. And then I guess he's coming out of retirement. I guess he probably got bored, but he's a really, really great instructor. So we have a good mixture of experience and knowledge, that we offer here to all the golfers of San Antonio.
I really like what you've done with the range. You put in the turf, you put the turf in the short game and putting
Mm-hmm.
and practice facilities, and I like that. And I like how it is. People say when something's small, they say quaint or charming. But I do, because I think it gives people that kind of that intimate feel. When the instructors are there working with them, and you can have some sort of privacy, which a lot of times,
Yeah,
golfers are always worried about who's watching them, right?
correct.
Who's watching, especially right now with, the golf boom right now. You got so many new golfers out there. So what I like about your facility is that I like how, you do have your private bay, to where if you want to, come and just, be secluded and not, have everybody kind of got those blinders on. And I know in previous time, I know you've shown videos of Abraham working in there and,
Yes.
grinding out some work. And is that where you mainly do like your fitting whenever you fit somebody for clubs?
Well, actually, if you come here to the facility, you're going to see that the main building, but the academy part of it, we have actually two heating bays. Everything is enclosed in
Yeah, you got
inside
the
here. I
yeah,
mean, it's very well protected. So one of them is the one that you see here. This is the one for club fittings. I do give a few lessons, but my main thing it's obviously the fitting part of it, and the building of a new sets, or reshafting, or everything related with club repair and club building. And we do have another bay just like this one for instruction, and we have four heating bays, uh, uh, protected by weather conditions, so that to make it more comfortable for the golfer to come here and very seriously learn the game, or get fitted for a new set of clubs, for a driver, for a wedge, you name it. So I think it's very important to give that privacy to the golfer, so that they feel comfortable, learning the game, right?
Well, you do some great work. So right now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of put up a little picture here, right here, of one of the sets, or
Mm,
the wedge set that you specifically made for Manolo. Manolo
correct.
teaches golf, and we're going to get to hit. We're going to get to that clinic that you're going to be hosting here in a little bit. But I love the ferrules that you do, because it seems like that's kind of the trend right now, right? Having
That is correct.
those colored ferrules. And I know you have a great relationship with Mira Clubs, and it seems like you are the main and the primary fitter for Mira here in town, or in the South Texas area. Would you say?
Well, yeah, with the relationship with Mira has been really, really, really great. To the point that I started as a very, very small dealer in San Antonio, like 8 years ago, and nowadays, because we have worked hard at putting the name out, and just doing good work. Now we are the exclusive distributors for Miura in Mexico, and so that's pretty big. That's something that we feel really proud about. How far we would come with one brand. Now that doesn't mean that we only sell Miura. We sell every brand, right? Uh, but the Miura story, it's very good, because it's really nice. Obviously, Abraham is involved in that relationship. Abraham is part owner of this facility, and as many people know, he has been playing Miura for the past 6 7 years. So that's something that Miura also found very attractive, and the brand has grown uh, into something very serious, very high quality. And again, that's one thing, that when it comes to building a custom set of clubs, Well, custom, it's also if you, for example, you like color the red in your uh, it's one of your favorite colors. We try to put it on the golf club as well, right? Either by putting nice ferrules with the car or nice grips or matching everything, but obviously keeping the attention on the performance on the club. So it's something that I really like. People really love the having the opportunity to custom make their clubs with different styles, different uh, textures on the grips, and making their set very how can I put it?
User friendly.
Yeah, user friendly, but at the same time unique,
Yeah,
right?
you do. You have your spin, you have your uniqueness to it. It's different, because I think nowadays, especially with the new golfer, yeah, everybody wants to be different, right? They want to be unique. They want to be
Right. You
special.
were mentioning Mizuno, Srixon, Exios. Um, Again, it's how the clubs are made. It's such an important factor, and obviously how they look, how they feel, and that's why we offer everything. We cannot if I cannot only offer Mura because again not too many people are gonna like him or they're not gonna fit into them, right? So we have to have all the options, and we can custom make uh, uh, the same way we do with the Mura bills. We can do with any brand out there.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I remember when you took me through your facility and you showed me all the different clubs. I'm just like, oh my gosh! I said it's not even funny. It's like I was a kid in a candy store. You're showing me all the different irons and the different iron heads and everything, and the different types of Mura, and it's just like the heavens kind of parted ways. That's how it felt like when you opened the drawers and you showed me, all the different shafts and the different iron heads y'all have and then you're like, oh, but we have all these. And then you show me the Callaways and you show me the tailor mades. And I'm just like, I'm drooling. My mouth is salivating right now just thinking about it. But if people normally tell me that Mura they're like the clubs for club builders. Would you say that's true?
Well, the Mura you can only buy it through club feeders, right, and builders, or you can buy it directly from Mura. But in order for you to buy it directly, you have to go get feeded, right? Or if you just want to take a wild guess, you can order whatever you want with the dimensions and specs that you want. But obviously, it's so important that or at least the basic specs on the golf club, which is length and lie and the flexibility on the shaft, right? Because there's so many variables even within the same flex that it's you have to do it. You have to live the experience, and that's also something that we really try to set ourselves apart as far as how much we're going to detail when people come here to get fitted, right? And I don't like to compare myself with anybody else. On the contrary, we just like to provide the best service possible to everybody that wants to get serious and they want to get a new set of clubs or upgrade what they have. So it's so far the feedback on our clients, which have been many for the last 8 years that I have been doing this professionally. It's great feedback, right? And it just feels great. And, when people call you and tell you that I'm hitting the ball better or my handicap has gone down because of the clubs are performing. And that's just very satisfying, and it's nice. Why I started doing everything started with the club repair, right? So I started learning to do club repair because I needed to. It was I used to have a temper, right? So clubs were not strong enough for me. So I started learning how to do club repair because personal needs, right? So to make it really short. One thing led to another one. I started building putting together a shop in my garage to the point where my wife told me, "Have you realized how much stuff you have here? We cannot even park the cars here anymore, and you have all these machines and vending machines and putter frequency, all kinds of equipment." And she said, instead of telling me, get rid of it, she said, "Well, don't you think it's probably a good time for you to start considering, opening a new opportunity for you?" So that's how it started. So I started repairing clubs for my friends, and then the friends of my friends, uh, until I started building clubs and repairing clubs professionally in my garage. After that, the club fitting, a part of the of how the golf was, you know bringing new trends as far as the options to get custom clubs and that. I really, my wife and I were talking, and she said, now what's out there, because it's obvious that you can do anything as far as uh, uh, club repair and club assembly, and so I remember there were some courses being offered at Golfsmith in Austin, and also at Mutual Golf, which it's a company that makes uh, very good club repair equipment, vending machines, and things like that. So I went and got certified as a club feeder. And again, I started buying my first launch monitor, bought my first fly scope, and then I started buying shafts anywhere I could and heads. So I started feeding my friends, and but at the same time I started investing money in a mini club fitting studio, to the point where my wife again came back and says, "Do you know how much money you have spent on this now?" It's like, I said, "No." "Well, just take a look, right?" So I think same story. She said, "Well, I think you should pursue again now offering more than just the club repair thing." So I started feeding my friends. I started, and the friends of my friends, to a point that people started coming in. So I started growing the business. I opened Dead Solid Perfect without having an account with a single shaft manufacturer. I was buying everything, heads and shaft, wherever I could, uh, until I started, feeding and helping a lot of people. And one day, I just decided to call Miura, because I was playing Miura irons since more than 12, 13 years ago, because I did my research and I wanted something original that was high quality. So one day I decided to call him and said, "Look, I'm a club feeder in San Antonio. I don't have a big operation." But it was actually pretty big, because without knowing, I had invested a lot of money in a very nice setup. So they obviously they did their due diligence, and they said, "Well, just give us about a month, and we'll send somebody there, our sales rep, whenever he's in Texas. Will he'll stop by." Okay, so I kept doing my stuff. One day, the representative from Mura just showed up, and he saw what I had, and he said, "Wow, this place looks pretty good. It's actually better than a lot of places that I have some of our dealers do their fittings. So okay, we'll give you the opportunity." So 6, 7 uh, years after, now I'm fitting uh, a lot of golfers here in San Antonio, fitting professionals, selling all kinds of shafts or grips or heads. So it's been a really great journey, and really grateful with obviously the people that put the trust on me to to get their golf equipment. And where it is, right? A golfer, when they get a new set, it's because it's like a big toy. And being part of that, it's just great. I can complain. I've been so lucky and blessed about being able to do this, as a professional, right? And helping PGA Tour players, uh, Corn Ferry players, PGA Latin America, Mexican Tour. I've done some work with also with LPGA players and Symetra players. So it's college players here. We're starting a program to help all the kids from Incarnate Ward. They're gonna be coming here to to get fitted and to get their equipment if it works, obviously.
Well,
So it's just
that's
it's awesome.
that's great because I think the kids from Incarnate Word, their facility was shut down when the
Yeah,
Republic was shut down, and
correct.
they just kind of and that sucked because they had a great, a great golf program that was building out not only on the collegiate golf side, but for people to go into the golf career, to the different,
Correct.
the different avenues that golf can be taken. And so I
Exactly.
think that pretty much sucked when when that closed because that meant UIW's golf facility was closing as well.
Hmm.
And so I know they've kind of been I say homeless, I say kind of
Yeah.
courseless, with the whole big transition. I know, luckily enough, I know they get to practice out at Briggs too. And
Hmm.
so I'm like,
Hmm.
that's not too shabby of a facility. 'Cause that place is always quiet. It's always
It is.
quiet there,
It
Briggs.
is a little
And
bit far, but it's an awesome place.
oh,
Awesome.
no, awesome course. It's awesome
Yeah.
course of
St.
facilities.
Mary's also. I've done some work with some of the players from St. Mary's University. Also, great group of kids with a ladies team and some of the guys. High schools come here and practice. So I went through that. I love my experience when I was a kid playing college golf. So I'm all in. As far as how I can help them.
Now on that side of what are some of the biggest hurdles or biggest things that you've had to kind of deal with, maybe on the downside, that has prevented you or that maybe kind of got in your way of being as successful as you are right now?
Well, obviously, starting a business, it's always difficult, right? The capital that you need to buy all that. You see all those shafts and the technology, the launch monitors, the TVs. That's always a big obstacle, right? But I guess I've been fortunate enough because I started my business from a tiny operation, just doing work for my friends, and that actually started growing at a very slow pace. Just getting clients slowly coming in, building my infrastructure, being able. Actually, I was so lucky when Joe decided to sell this facility. It was that's an interesting story because I was actually flying back from Mexico here to San Antonio, and I remember I was sitting on the plane, and the flight attendant was about ready to close the door, and I was checking my Facebook, and before she closed, I saw a message pop, and it was Joe announcing that he had decided to sell the range. So I was just able to make one phone call, and I was able to tell Joe that place is mine. Don't show it to anybody, right? So I told him, you were so lucky. It took you 5 seconds to sell your business. So I landed in San Antonio right away. I called him to say I want to see you tomorrow, and you know uh, I don't care. I'm buying that place. Obviously, we're a partnership, right? I'm so grateful with obviously with Joe that he he actually put the place for sale, but he was also very respectful about keeping me as the first option, and we actually were able to work together in the transition. And he's such a great instructor. I did learn a lot about the golf swing and how to teach how to mix instruction with club fitting because that's one thing that it's very important for all the people that want to learn how to play golf and they spend money and time with an instructor. Always the club feeder and the instructor, it's so important that they work together because we work towards the same goal, so that the golfer can get better instead of kind of like everybody just doing their stuff. Joe was very grateful. I learned a lot, and obviously he's now at San Pedro, being very successful and I was able to launch it here. But thanks to him, that he put his place for sale, and now we have all the infrastructure that we need to make this place the best place to come and learn, have fun, get new clubs, etc. Right?
I think you make it. It's a very welcoming. It's very welcoming. A kind of. Yeah, I'm sure you know, as being a golfer, the air can be a little bit, suffocating, or it can be stuck up when you walk into a golf facility, and where people, they always have their guard up because it's like everyone seems always that they're, a new golfer always kind of feels uncomfortable walking into a golf facility, right?
Yeah.
And kind of like oh, you're stupid, oh, you don't know things. And but you know what, I do love how you're welcome, how you and your staff, how you welcome everybody who walks through that door, whether they're a seasoned pro, a seasoned golfer, or not, or just that novice golfer. And I think that makes y'all make people feel comfortable walking through that door and going out to the range. And that's something that says a lot about you and about your leadership and about the employees that y'all have.
You won't believe this, but I have the door open facing the range. There's a skunk wanting to come into the bay, so I'm looking for something to grab to throw it at him. It's right here, like 15 feet away.
Hey man,
He went away. He went away. So I
okay,
was a little worried.
I was gonna say you have a lot. You got a lot of shafts there to choose from, so make sure you choose
Exactly,
one of the
exactly.
lower end, one of the
Yeah,
lower end ones.
but no, no, you're right. You're right. This is uh, just treating people the way they deserve. This is such a hard game already that at least, well, you get your clubs or you learn how to play the game. Well, you'll have a friendly face with a lot of knowledge and very very willing to help you out and make it happen to you, right? Because the game is going to be cruel, right? So at least the people that can help you get better, they have to compensate for that.
Now, as you talked about Abraham, I don't know if people know, but you're referring to Abraham Answer, and I know you have a great relationship. I know he's a partner in your business right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and put up a picture of y'all two. Um, One of the things that you've been able to do, and from what I've heard with speaking with the leadership at Golf San Antonio and several people here around town, is that you're a great people person and you have done some great things in building some great relationships in golf. Why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about you and Abraham's relationship?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm more blessed and lucky, I guess, to be able to meet Abraham. I met him through my brother-in-law, my wife's brother. They are from Reynosa, and obviously Abraham is and his family. They're from there. So my brother-in-law, he knew Abe's dad, and I remember it was like probably 8, 9 years ago. We were going down there for Christmas, and he told me, no, we're gonna be playing with this kid that just got his Web.com card, and he went to OU, and he's a great player. I was a friend of his dad, and so I said, well, perfect. So we got to the valley, and we played 4 days in a row together over at Cimarron in Mission, and it was a great experience. Obviously, nobody knew what was coming, right? 8, 9 years after, but back then he was actually moving from Oklahoma to San Antonio, and it was kind of like a lucky, everything kind of like lined up perfectly. I said, you look, I have a fitting place and blah blah blah, and said, and so as soon as he moved, we clicked. We played a lot of golf, and I took care of his clubs and to the and the point where everything clicked even better is when Nike announced that they were not going to make clubs anymore, and he was playing Nike. He was under contract with Nike, so he had to change clubs. And one thing that I remember him telling me is that, to be honest, I want to concentrate on a set of clubs. I want to make my money on the golf course. right? Obviously, I know that if I'm successful, I'm gonna every single company is gonna be knocking at the doors. And so back then, I was already a Mura dealer. I told, let me build a set for you. He said, sure, let's do it. And one, then another, and then another, blah. And then I introduced. I think after his first year on the web.com, he got his card, and then I think he lost it and went back to the web.com, and then he obviously he got it back. But I was able to introduce Abraham with Mura, and that created a different type of relationship, and obviously it was so beneficial for me. But one thing about Abe that I'm so proud of him, and the one thing that I do enjoy the most is being his friend, right? I think that he's such a great person, and the thing that I enjoy the most is just having him as a close friend, and being such a obviously the golf it's important, but he's such a humble guy, and that just made things a lot easier. And obviously, when the opportunity came for the range, I told him, "Hey, look, there's this opportunity. Would you like to join as a partner?" And then the answer was that was very very simple. He said yes right away. The other partner that I have is my brother-in-law. My other brother-in-law, he's married to my sister, so it's just a great team. The only thing that I tell Abe is like, you just keep playing golf, and everything else will fall into place as far as this operation is concerned. And obviously, I think he has done quite well. But and it just getting to have him as a friend, talk. What happens on tour, experiences, and being able to actually follow him in some tournaments. It's been just kind of like
The cherry on top, right?
the cherry on top of that. Yeah, so it's just amazing. It's I'm so blessed because of that, and so grateful, and I'm telling you, it's blessed.
How did you feel when he got his it's second PGA, right? His second PGA, because he did win the Australian Open, right? And I don't know if that's a PGA event, but I think he had his first PGA win here.
His first, he actually won it in Nova Scotia on the web.com.
Mhm.
And then he won in Australia, and now with this one, it was funny because it was that Sunday, all the family we decided to go. We went out for to have lunch, right? And because he was doing okay, but we said, well, it's going to be another great tournament for him. So by the time we went to a sushi place. So we're sitting down there, and then all of a sudden Harry's English starts making bogeys, and by the time we're sitting down on the at the restaurant, he's tied for the lead, and we were if we would have known, we would have done something comfortable at home. Watching the tournament, but we were actually looking at my cell phone. We were watching the tournament on my cell phone
Oh
on the
man,
restaurant.
come on.
So because they were not showing the golf tournament, and we had already ordered. So again, it was fun because they go out there for the playoff, and the putts start leaping out, and so we're all screaming and yelling. My daughters, my son, my wife, and everybody at the restaurant's like, what's wrong with these guys, right? So when he makes the putt and the other guy misses, it's like we start jumping and screaming, and people is like, what's wrong with these people, right? And one of them, from the table right next to us, he comes in and says, "What are you watching?" And we said, "We're watching golf." He says, "Really?" Like it's like, and you're all crazy and screaming, and they probably thought we're watching Mexican soccer game or something,
Or
but it was
a
just
telenovela.
exactly the final of a soap opera or something. But we were so happy, we're like it was unbelievable because we know how hard he has worked for that and how close he has come, and it was just unbelievable. It was, and I'm sure all the people that like Aiden, which is a lot, they it was just such a great moment.
It's awesome to see him because I remember that day too. I was at my in-laws' house and I couldn't tell you. I don't know if was it Father's Day or was it kind of like around, I don't know, something. But we were there. We were there at my in-laws, and he was cooking it up there. And of course, I walk in. You know, they're from Bracketville originally, but they spent a lot of time in Mission and Sherryland and Edinburgh and Brownsville, and so they're. Oh, good night, baby. My daughter is going to bed.
There you go.
And so he had it on, of course, because my brother-in-law, he graduated from Mission Sherryland too. He was a classmate of Abraham Answers, and so they kind of had an interest as well, and I'm glad too because I was over here thinking, I said, man, I was gonna have to tell him. I said, excuse me, Mr. Pena, can you turn on the golf tournament? And it was great. It was great. There was so much intrigue. There was so much excitement as it went to the playoff, and then they had to replay the hole, and then seeing Abe make that putt. It was huge, because he stuck it in there though. He had a damn good shot.
The first shot and the second shot, everything was just perfection.
Yeah, and so we were all happy, and especially now that he makes his home here in San Antonio, and so we kind of have a rooting interest in him, and it was really great to see.
Sure.
Now as let's go ahead and get into the great clinic you have coming up here with Manolo Teaches Golf. Now, how did that come to be that you're able to? I know you made a good relationship and a good friendship with him over a golf tournament. So how did that all come to be and to fruition that you were going to bring him here to San Antonio?
It was actually I was lucky enough that we went to I went to the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines with my son, right? And on Instagram, I saw that Abe had the opportunity to meet him, and actually Manolo caddy for him a couple of holes. So they kind of like built a pretty good fast relationship. So when we were there, I think it was after the first round, we went to Abe's house where he was staying. And so we walk in there, and the person that opens the door it's Manolo. And we're like, my son, imagine he's like 16, and he's like we were in shock, and the guy just looks at us and it's like kind of like his character, right? And he's like, oh wow, what are you doing here? And he's kind of like, who are you? And then we can we walk into the house, and Poulter was there, Ian Poulter. So it was kind of like we're just we're gonna have some nice dinner with him, and all of a sudden these guys are there, so that made the night a little bit more special. So talking to him, I told him that every year I run a charity event here in San Antonio for a center that they treat and they take care of kids with special physical needs. And I told him that it would be great if somehow he could come and be the celebrity for the tournament. He said that would be great. So that this is back at the U.S. Open, so I kept in touch with him. And when as the date got closer, I said, what, to make it even better, let's see if I can accommodate two events in the during the same trip. And I checked with him, and he said, he loved the idea. So I started planning to do a clinic besides the one for the tournament. And I said, what a better place than here, right? So now we're just a few days away from that. He has been a very, very, very cool guy. I hope a lot of people can come and meet him. We still have some tickets available, but it just happened like that, just communicating, and I decided to build those wedges for him, just because I said, hey, look, I'm gonna send you some wedges, the Miura, I explained the relationship with Miura. Obviously, he was familiar with the brand, so I built those 3 wedges for him, and he got them. He loved them. Obviously, you see the Manolo with his face, and his phrase is, that's it. And the other one says, nasty perro. It's you're
Yeah,
gonna say,
I like that one. I like
yeah,
that
the
one.
third says nasty perro. So it's you know, it made things a lot easier, right? So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun here on Tuesday, and then obviously on the tournament for the guys that are gonna play it. It's gonna be and hopefully he can keep going strong with his career, and we can schedule him for other events in the future, right? Let's see how these ones go, and looking forward to organize a few more.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there, and I'm giving away a ticket to somebody who comments tonight. So I know a lot of my boys. We're super excited that he's going to be there, just because it seems like in listening to some of his what is it, the I guess it's Tropicana Club, right? Tropicana Golf
Right.
Club, right? And so it seems like he's a pretty genuine guy, and like what you see is what you get. And you know what? I think that's the one thing, is that he tells you the information that's funny as hell, but you know what? It's like, if you just really listen to it, you're like, damn, this guy is like giving you like legit golf tips in a
Yes.
way that he dumbs things down for people like me to understand, and he
Yeah.
also
Well,
makes it fun.
he's actually teaching golf on with a great style. But he's a good player. He gives lessons down there, so he's a legit good player, and he gives lessons, right? But the way he presents everything, it's so funny. He's such a funny guy.
And then I have Cody Brooks. He does participate in the amateur long drives. Quality is important, especially for us big hitters. The equipment has to hold up, and it seems like hey, you got the Rolls Royce of equipment, dealing with Mura, and so I know their equipment has stood the test of time.
Yes, yes. Mura has been out there for a long, long time. A lot of people don't know, but uh, KJ Choi, when he won the Players Championship a few years ago, he was playing Mura irons, and a lot of people just don't know that. So, again, I go back to the phrase that Abraham said. I want to make my money on the golf course, and for that, I want to play the best clubs that I can put in my hands. In this case, it just happens that they're Muras, right? But a lot of pros play Mizuno's, Titleist, TaylorMade's. Obviously, a lot of them get incentivized by the contracts that they sign, but they still have to like what they hit. So in this case, that the story with Abraham, it's basically that he will have always the best clubs that he can perform with, right? Regardless of contracts or big money or that. In this case, is Mura. Who knows what's going to happen in 2, 3, 4, 5 years? So that is the story on golf clubs. That's why I deal with all the rest of the brands as well, right?
Now, as we talk to you about your relationships in golf, and that's a great relationship that you have with. It doesn't seem like it's about golf. It seems like it's more of a friendship that you and Abraham have, and it just seems like it's something that y'all share. Now, I know you've been to. I've seen so many pictures of you at his tequila plant. I've seen pictures with you and your family at all these great tournaments. Which would you say has been probably like your best PGA experience that you've been out there to witness, one of your good friends be successful at?
Ooh, actually, I want to say the Players Championship about 4 years ago. He was in contention. I think at one point he was on 12 or 13 on round four, and he was tied for the lead. Rory won that year, and it was awesome because that is such a great tournament to go watch because the whole golf course is designed to make it easy on the spectators, right? So we had a lot of access to the action, and it was just I mean that the venue it's unbelievable. That place it's great. Abel was in contention. He was playing awesome. I think he in that tournament he was like the if not the first, he was the second or third as far as birdies made throughout the tournament. So he we follow him for the 4 rounds. So he put up a show for us, right? Well, obviously for everybody, but we were so fortunate to see a great performance, and I got the opportunity to have seen him at a couple of U.S. Opens at Pebble Beach, and I mean, just watching him play. I got the opportunity to play with him yesterday. We played over at Oak Hills, and just just see and all tour professionals. I have a really good relationship with Bobby Diaz, also great Mexican professional. He won this year at the
Yeah, in
Corn
the Corn
Ferry.
Ferry Tour, and he
Right.
doesn't he live close? Does he live close to Abe too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're very close. They finished second at the World Cup 3-4 years ago in Australia, and awesome player. And I've had a chance also to follow him in a few tournaments and work on his equipment and talk golf and of being a good friend with them. And it's and those things are they're again I've been blessed somehow. We cross paths and but again before being the players they're great human beings, and they're humble guys and super golfers, and um, and that's what I value the most.
And that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is just because I think for me especially, uh, golf has been a great binder, with people and relationships, and that might be one thing that kind of helps bring you together, but it's not the thing that keeps you together, and I think that's one thing, especially when you spend 4 or 5 hours with someone on the course, you really get to know them, and you're like, do I want to hang out with this guy after the round or before a round or play another round? And that's one thing you really get to know. You get to see somebody, their characteristics.
Yes.
Hey, can we mesh conversation wise? Is this guy a cheater? Is this guy, does this guy write down a 4 when he got a
Uh,
5? And so
or a temper. I'm told part of the dark uh, period in golf. I really had a temper. That's why I learned how to repair clubs, so I could repair mine. So those everything is it's a learning, and dealing with people. That's why golf is so great. 18 holes with like you said, with a stranger. It's different as if you were in a business meeting, and you sell a product and the guy's gonna buy it. But here you're sharing passion that most golfers have for the game, and that puts you in a more humble position against the people that you are walking the golf course or riding the golf cart or playing a scramble tournament or whatever, right? That's the thing that that's why I guess golf it's just such a great sport, such a great game.
now, as we get into some of the lighter things, as we kind of wrap this conversation down, what is your favorite golf movie?
Caddyshack, and that's solid perfect.
I was gonna say you have to say dead solid perfect. You have to say dead solid perfect. Who are you playing your final round of golf with?
uh I think probably with my dad. My dad lives in Mexico. He's getting old, and he cannot move as he used to. But I always enjoy playing with him and with my son. I've been playing a lot of golf lately with my son, and definitely my dad and my son, and then we'll invite two more.
Now, where would you be playing your final round of golf?
Ooh.
I know you've played at some of the best golf courses that this country has to offer, or outside of the country. So where do you think you'd have your final round?
Where I would love to play again and under the same conditions. And that all golf was where I learned how to play golf with sand greens or aggregate greens. That would be awesome. That would be, to be honest, that would be awesome because I it was I could tell you about it, but you wouldn't believe it how we play golf back then. So that would be really cool. Actually, I never thought about it.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I know somebody, and I'm sure you've seen. They did a special on Abe, and they kind of showed the range. They showed the range that where he kind of learned his game, and
Oh yeah, Reynosa,
yeah,
Petra Reynosa.
and so and he showed how they would pick up the range balls, with the little stick with the can, and
Right.
so As I think about that, and that kind of gave some of us, who we say we're not privileged, but I guess we have been privileged when,
Oh
when
yeah,
other golfers have had to do some of those things. Hey, how did you pay for balls? Well, I did it. I would pick them up, and
right.
so
But that's the beauty of it. You're sharing the same game regardless of how the golf course looks or where you play. You still get to hit a golf ball and find it and hit it again, right? And that is the beauty of this sport.
one of my last questions: what's your favorite golf course here in the San Antonio area?
I love Oak Hills. Oak Hills, it's a really, really, really great golf course. It's not that long. But it's a thinking golf course. You have to really shape the ball, hit in the right spots. There's some good golf courses in here in town, but I actually, in particular, I really, really like Oak Hills.
All right. Did you have any questions for me, Hanato?
Well, no, I actually have more than I wanted to thank you for inviting me. To be honest, it was completely unexpected, and I really really appreciate that. It's I think we met like before COVID, right? I think.
I think it was like around kind of that time.
Right. It was feeling that I think you what you're doing is great. You're talking about the great game and locally, helping us that serve the community here, and putting us more on the scope of golfers in town. I really appreciate it, and it's more of a I'm very very thankful with you for the opportunity, and then again whatever I can do, whatever to help you or your audience, uh,
Well,
you're very very welcome here.
I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please visit my website, www.NothingisOB.com. You can hit me up on different forms of social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. NothingisOB is my handle. Also, please check out my YouTube channel, NothingisOB, South Texas Golf Podcast. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Please click the subscribe button. You can leave a comment, rate, and review. It's how it helps me grow the podcast. I truly thank you for all your support. Remember, in the game of life, nothing is OB.